Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stott, I'm the Emperor of Stomaria, and today I want to talk about MicroCon 2023. So over the course of the last month or so, I've had somewhere between half a dozen and a dozen messages from Micronational leaders and generic Micronationalists asking as to whether or not the Empire of Stomaria would be represented at MicroCon 2023, because unlike previous years, MicroCon 2023 is actually going to be hosted in two different locations. I believe it's going to be two different dates, but there's going to be one in North America, I think it's Chicago, and then there's going to be one in Belgium, Ypres, I think specifically, and obviously that's a bit close to home. And when I was first made aware of this, I did actually highlight it, as the other micronational leaders within the Empire of Stomaria and associated with Stomaria will know. I actually did highlight this in one of the group chats. I did say, just so you guys are aware, there is a MicroCon 2023 going on in Belgium, in Ypres, just in case any of you wanted to attend. To be honest, I didn't get an overwhelmingly positive response to that idea from the people that I made aware of that. But I wouldn't have made this particular video at all had it not been from a recent video that I received from Princess Claire of Lithua, because Princess Claire is attending a micronational event. I forget now the name of the micronation. I think it's a 10-year anniversary or something like that that's going on, some sort of milestone. It's going to bug me now because it's quite a reputable micronation in those circles, but I just can't think of what the name is now. But that's all by the by. The reason I wanted to make this video is because Princess Claire sent a video of herself talking with some of the attendees of that particular event, one of which was Neil from Flandrensis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Flandrensis. I'm sure that's how you say it. I've never actually had to say it out loud, so I'm sure that must be how it's said. If someone knows, then correct me if I'm wrong. But they just they were having a lunch, a tea, and whatever else, and they were obviously talking about MicroCon 2023. Obviously, I came up as a topic of conversation, or the Empire of Stomaria came up as a topic of conversation in some form or another. And Neil had a lovely little message, inviting me to come to MicroCon 2023, and he's one of the hosts, or I don't know if he's the host for the European MicroCon, or if he's just co-hosting with someone else. I don't know how exactly it works, but I know he's involved in that, and that's the only reason I'm really making this video. It's because even though I've had, as I say, half a dozen people ask me about this already, I've yet to have one of the event organizers invite me personally. And I did respond at the time to Princess Claire's video saying, I'd have to think about it, but it's not really our crowd, it's not really our scene. You know, I suppose logistically speaking, it's also quite difficult even to go to Belgium, because obviously I'd want to bring Samantha with me, and where Samantha goes and I go, obviously we have to bring the 2-year-old Princess Eleanor and taken her abroad, which would be the first time we would have gone abroad. Is a bit more logistically difficult than popping down the shops, which for anyone that has children already knows that just leaving the front door with a toddler can be a mammoth task. But that's not an excuse in itself, but it's just one of the reasons that I was a bit reluctant to go initially. But I did want to make this particular video because I want to just go through the reasons and the rationale why we're always very hesitant about attending events like MicroCon. Because the Empire of Stomaria, from its inception, has always been incredibly selective with the Micronations that we have affiliations with, that we're seen to cooperate with and work with. Because to us, micronationalism is much more than what most Micronations claim to be, in that you know, there's a very wide spectrum of people and entities that define themselves as Micronations. Some are campaigning on a particular issue. It might be human rights or environmentalism or you know, green energy or natural rights or something like that. You know, it might be a particular issue they're campaigning on, or a particular issue in a particular region that they're campaigning on. You know, more democracy in whatever country they're based in, if it's like more totalitarian or something to that effect. You know, they exist on that front. And then you have the sort of the parody Micronations, the meme Micronations, the goofy Micronations, if you like. And then you have Micronations as what we would define as a genuine Micronation, which is an entity that is not just claiming sovereignty over a particular territory, but is striving for that sovereignty. They might not attain it necessarily. They might not even be especially successful in their efforts to do so, but they are working towards making legal, legitimate steps in order to become more self-reliant, become that much more closer to reality in terms of self-determination. And you know, that's how we define ourselves. And the idea of having any sort of formal affiliation or association with Micronations that are run by 8-year-olds, or Micronations that don't not only not adhere to that vision or that idea of what a Micronation is, the same vision that we have, but Micronations that effectively cheapen that idea to the point where it becomes a gimmick. It just doesn't interest us, it doesn't benefit us to have that kind of affiliation. I think probably one of the closest examples I can think of this is in the United Kingdom, for instance. You have, you know, hundreds of political parties. They're all campaigning on various issues, be it local, regional, or national. Some have very serious messages, some have very serious points to make. You would not see these political parties congregating in a single location, mixing with people that had a different idea or vision of how the community, the region, the country would be governed. You know, we wouldn't, you know, I was involved in politics, leader of a political party myself back in the day, and I wouldn't have thought to attend a conference or a convention with another political party which I, you know, vehemently disagreed with on a wide range of issues. And I certainly wouldn't attend if there was political parties that were established purely as jokes. For those within the United Kingdom, you will obviously know about the Monster Raving Loony Party. And for those outside of the United Kingdom, yes, that is a genuine political party, one of a myriad of joke political parties out there. In fact, fun fact, quick tangent, my neighbour actually used to be the leader of the Monster Raving Loony Party. So that's a little fact about me. But that all aside, that I wouldn't attend a conference that would undermine our message, you know, what we had to say and what we were campaigning on and what we were striving to do would only be undermined if people saw us, you know, trying to, you know, rubbing shoulders in a cooperative manner, I suppose, with political parties that either aren't striving for what we're striving to achieve, or political parties that were just purely for satire. it wouldn't do us any good. It wouldn't benefit us in any way. And that's the way I view micronationalism, is that micronationalism, like political parties, they're great as a platform, and anyone can utilize that platform. But that doesn't mean that everyone on that platform is gunning for the same thing. It doesn't mean that affiliation or association with everyone on that platform is necessarily desirable. And I think this was highlighted even further with the last MicroCon, with MicroCon 2022. It recently happened. I can't tell you every micronation that attended that event, but one that stuck out obviously was Slowjamastan, I think it's called. It's a very, very new micronation, but it's kind of stormed the scene. They are an exceptionally well-developed micronation, even by our standards. In a lot of ways, they would surpass Stomaria in what they've accomplished so far. But they are still a parody micronation. If you look on their website, for instance, their policies, their laws, their objectives, their values, they revolve around punishing people for wearing Crocs, or telling its citizens the correct way to put a toilet roll on the holder, whether it's over or under. What benefit is there to us in saying this is Stomaria and this is Slowjamastan, they've attended the same event, there they are shaking hands? What value does that add to Stomaria? What value does that add to our community? What purpose does that serve in terms of building ties or affiliations? Because we're not going to cooperate with these people in the same way as we will with other micronations that are looking to strive to do the same thing as we are. I don't have anything against these micronations existing and doing what they're going to do, because, first of all, I don't have any authority or control over who can and cannot be a micronation. And even if I had that power, I would still not care enough to prohibit those sorts of people from defining themselves as such. To each their own and all that jazz. I don't care. But it doesn't mean that we should be inclined to affiliate with micronations that we just have no... where there's no mutual benefit, where there's no purpose in mind, aside from, a gimmicky photograph and a bit of a cheesy meme or something. This is the point I want to get across, I think, is because just because something is happening doesn't mean we have to be involved. Just because an event is happening where all these relatively well-known and respectable micronations within the micronational community, at least, come together, they all shake hands and they give themselves medals and they all pat themselves on the back, and then they do whatever they're going to do, and then they attend the next meeting or the next conference and they do the same thing over and over and over again. I can't say with any degree of certainty what these micronations get up to outside of that. Some, I'm sure, do a lot of work, good work, I'm sure, in terms of campaigning on whatever issues they're campaigning on, or doing whatever they're going to do. But I can almost guarantee that none of the micronations, or exceptionally few of the micronations that attend these sorts of events, are looking to do what we're looking to do. And that's the point. If we're looking to attend an event, or host an event, or involve people within our community, or within our own circle, then there has to be some sort of consensus as to what exactly we're striving to do. Because it's not good enough to me simply to attend, just to shake someone's hand and say, yes, I've met X, Y, and Z from this well-known and reputable micronation. It's not enough just to say we will attend for the media coverage, or the potential media coverage. Because I think that would be just disingenuous of me, because the only reason that we would attend is for the publicity, because there would be literally no other benefit to it. I'm not going to be able to convince anyone that attends these sorts of events. Some of the micronations and micronationalists, been going 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, or even longer than that. They've got their micronation, they've got their values, they've got their objectives, they've got their aspirations, they know what they're doing, and what they're doing is not what we're doing, and they have no interest in what we're doing, much as we don't have any interest in what they're doing. So again, what would be the point? Again, as I say, it would just be for the publicity, or the potential publicity, but that would just be disingenuous of me to show up to this event and just basically go, I don't agree with any of what these people. I don't know, what they stand for, but it's certainly not what we stand for. That meme parody Micronation over there, I certainly don't want to sort of rub shoulders with him. I don't want to be formally affiliated with him in any way. But since the media's here, I'm here just to go, yep, we're here, so, look us up. It would be very disingenuous. I'd rather, place more focus and time and energy and resources into creating our own events, which is something that we're doing now for Micronations that are like us, that are striving to do what we're striving to do. And that's not to exclude anyone deliberately or purposefully, but as I say, what is the point? There has to be a point, there has to be a reason. I'm a very sort of pragmatic kind of guy. If there's no particular reason or rationale for me to do something, then I won't do it. We don't mint silver Stomarian status because it's fun. We use it because we do it because we want to use them as a medium of exchange in the inter-micronational trade network that we're looking to establish as a form of sound money. We don't purchase land because it would be cool to have a plot of land somewhere. We do it because we need to utilize that land in order to create the produce and to be able to utilize that land in other ways in order to accomplish our fundamental values and objectives, which would be to reduce reliance on and contributions to the macronations that we're a part of, in this case, the United Kingdom. We can't do that by simply claiming a public park. We can't do that by claiming the moon. We can't do that by claiming a city. You need to have land that you have control and authority over, so you need private freehold land. And the list goes on and on and on. What we're looking to do, that there is a reason that we are doing it the way we are. We have a vision of how we want to go about accomplishing our values and objectives. And we're working, a lot harder than most, I think, often with mixed results, but we are working very hard towards it in order to accomplish these goals. And sometimes it takes longer than we would like. Sometimes things aren't as perfect or ideal as we would like, but we are striving to accomplish that. And I have a lot more time for micronations that aren't hugely well known or hugely successful or have made big strides in that direction. I have more time for these sorts of micronations if they are looking to do what we're looking to do, because there is a rapport there. There is a reason to associate and affiliate with, because we're moving in the same direction. Whereas most of the micronational community, they're all pulling in 100 or 1,000 different directions, trying to do all of these different things that some might be doing it for fun, some might be doing it for satire and as a parody or whatever. Some might be campaigning on this issue, some might be campaigning on that issue, some might have ties to the local community but have no interest outside of that. Some might have 1,000 medals from 1,000 different micronations for being the superest, bestest ever micronation because they've been around for so long and they've hosted some micronational event, and they're well known with the in crowd, the old guard as I call them. But the idea of us attending MicroCon 2023 with no real clear purpose or reason for us to do so, it strikes me as simply not worth our time, simply not worth their time. Frankly, based on the responses from some of the better known micronations regarding our own content or regarding our own views and the way we present ourselves, because obviously we're not shy about calling people out on things or use them as examples as a reason as to why we don't affiliate or associate with certain micronations. But I don't think we would actually be welcome at these sorts of events, despite being invited to it. So I don't see the reason or the rationale for us to get involved in it. As I say, we are looking to host our own event. I think actually, speaking to King Raoul of the Kingdom of Wayward, that we will actually look to host the event at Southwood, which will be the Empire of Stomaria's first protectorate. The purchase of that should be entering its final phases now. It should be in the next week or two, and we should actually formally own that territory. And it's a small sort of a half-acre, quarter-acre plot with another quarter of an acre adjacent to it, which is also utilised by Wayward. And that's between that quarter of an acre, half an acre, we can host an event there. Unlike it won't be as glamorous as you know, having these fancy hotels and conference rooms and buffets and things like that. It won't be nearly as fancy as that. But the reason that we're having this event is to bring Stomarians, Waywoodians, Salassians, Molandians, even the Thuans and other Micronations and Micronationalists that share our vision of what we're looking to accomplish, to bring them together and to actually build a sense of community. Not a case of micronational leaders just showing up, which have no affiliation or association with each other outside of that meeting, patting each other on the back, giving themselves a medal and calling it a day. We're looking to establish genuine relationships between these micronations and micronationalists, because what we're looking to do is establish real-world communities and acquiring private freehold land and that can be utilized, not for just these events, but for establishing those trade networks between these micronations, micronationalists. That's very important. And so it all just ties in together in that way. So, you know, look out for a video before too long, because we will firm up locations, dates, and potential attendees to our own event, which we've yet to come up with a name for. I think the running name at the moment is a Micronational Summit, but I have a sneaky suspicion, I don't know, but I think that might be used already, which doesn't surprise me, because, you know, it's almost like a YAMO, yet another micronational organization. It's just a different group meeting. You've got MicroCon, then Micro Summit, and then Micro Assembly or something. You know, you'll get that, I'm sure. But the running name at the moment is just Micro Summit, but I suspect it will be something more closely affiliated, the actual name, with the wider Stomarian community. But we'll think about that going forward. But this is all by the by. I just wanted to make my own thoughts, and have a little ramble as to what the reason and rationale as to why we're not especially interested in attending MicroCon 2023. And I hope it does answer the question to some degree, so I can stop being asked about it by so many people. But I'm sure I will still get asked about it, and I'll just direct them to this video. But as I say, I wish all of the micronations that attend MicroCon 2023 all the best in whatever they're trying to do. But the reality is, in terms of meeting with and associating with micronations, we only ever do this on our terms. We only ever do this if we think there's going to be mutual benefit in that kind of collaboration. And so until that position changes, we will remain isolationist, I suppose, to some degree or another, to be selective with the people that we actually want to rub shoulders with. And I don't think there's much more to say it than that. So if you did want to become a part of the Stomarian community, then please feel free to become a citizen through our Patreon campaign, the link of which is in the description below as always. You can also find the details of the other micronations that make up the Empire of Stomaria in the description below as well. But otherwise, if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.